Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TTV Modcast, episode 10.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, we made it to the full 10. We actually did it.
Double digits.
That's like a 1 and then a 0.
Yeah, so let's not waste any time. Let's just get to it. So, I'm Wudge.
I'm Slime.
I am, in fact, John Smith.
And I'm Lego Master.
So, today, we are doing a special thing. We're doing a QANDA, or also known as a Q&A. And last episode we asked for people to leave their questions in the TTV Modcast topic and on episode 9. And people did leave quite a lot of responses, so let's just get to it then. Our first question comes from Pakari Nation 99, and he asks, how did you guys come up with your avatars and personas? Basically, like our usernames and our avatars.
So, I posted this story around before on the internet, username topic, avatar topic, that sort of stuff, but I guess I'll just mention it again here because, not everyone has been around for all that. So, Political Slime actually... Well, I guess I should start with Towanuju 120 for the longest time since 2005 when I made my Lego network account for the Bionicle website back then. Towanuju 120 was my go-to account for pretty much everything for a very long time. And then I was like watching Minecraft videos and stuff, and I was like, Towanuju 120 is a great name, but it's kind of awful, so I need a new name. And so I was watching a lot of Minecraft, wanted to make a Minecraft username because that's what all the cool kids were doing in 2012. And so I was like, my original thought was, I will make a skin and then come up with the username because that makes sense. So I was just messing around, like making skins for like Minecraft characters. I didn't even own Minecraft. At the time, I was just making skins. I made this one skin, and it was like a slime in a suit. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I think I'll go with that. And so I decided to choose the name Political Slime because my mother is actually a politician. I won't say anything more than that because political discussion is not something we need to go into at all. But yeah. So that's where Political Slime came from, and then some of the older members on the boards might remember that I was Towanuju 120 when I joined the boards, because when I did that, I had this internal debate because at the time, pretty much everywhere else, I was Political Slime, but it wasn't really Bionicle related, so it's like Towanuju 120, that's like Bionicle related, it's like perfect for that. So then I went with that, but then I was in the Minecraft Metronui build crew, all of them were like, Political Slime, who are you on the boards again? So I was like, well, I want to be recognized on both. So then I transitioned into Political Nuju, and now I'm Political Slime. And the whole Matatu on my head thing sort of came around because I tried to make a self-mock, and I put a Matatu on my head.
So, for a long time, I'd used John Smith as a username on a lot of sites because it's a generic fake name. And then after a while, I got into Doctor Who, and on that show, the Doctor uses John Smith as an alias occasionally. So I put 2 and 2 together and said, hey, why don't I make my avatar the Doctor?
My avatar is just Fierce Deity Link from Majora's Mask, because I just like that character design. That's pretty much it, and I like Majora's Mask. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And my username was Wudge Knight, but I don't call myself Wudge Knight because it's just too long, in my opinion. But I'm Wudge Knight on a lot of sites, and the reason that I'm just Wudge is because my actual name is Wudgy, and so it's just a shorter version of my name. It's my nickname, and so I just added the word Knight to it at the end, so it's Wudge Knight, and that's pretty much it.
I've got a bit of a more elaborate story behind my name. I don't know if you guys have heard before. I believe I actually discussed it with TTV, but I think that was off air. And I just checked, and I don't think I posted it in the username discussion topic. But basically, for me, Lego Master 1378 is the name that I came up with in kind of a bootleg fashion, because in around 2008, I was really into the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show. And as a result, I found myself really into the Lego Star Wars online community, specifically in YouTube. And around that time, through some weird circumstance of events, I don't know what exactly prompted it, but there was this kind of huge Lego clone-based subculture that popped up. Everybody was making clone bases for their Lego Clone Trooper minifigures. And most of them were pretty darn terrible. Actually, back then, I think that most of them were atrocious. They're nowhere near the kind of quality that people do nowadays. But we were all like 10, 11, 12-year-olds doing this with just random, multicolored bricks. And there was this one guy who I really liked watching called Clone Wars 1378. That guy disappeared. So I was like, oh, hey, I like the sequence of letters 1378. I'm going to steal that because I'm going to make my own YouTube channel and I'm going to have my own Lego Star Wars videos on with my own clone bases. I still haven't tracked down the guy. I should probably do that at some point and see if he's still active anywhere. But basically, I chose Lego Master because I was like, Lego and Master because it sounds okay. I think it was my mom who happened to cross me at that time. She just read my username and she was like, isn't that a bit pretentious? And I'm like, oh, maybe. But I kept the name anyway. And so I've had Lego Master 1378 on my YouTube channel, which I built up for several years. And now I've kind of let go of. I don't upload videos very frequently. And so that was naturally the name that I had when I went onto the board. And my sig fig avatar was just, again, in the system community, we have a tendency to make signature figures. So basically Lego minifigure representations of ourselves. In the Bionicle community, we make self mocks. In the system community, we make self minifigures, I guess. So I just built this minifigure. It's actually almost exactly the same as an official set minifigure from a city set. It was almost the first one that I got. And I was just like, hey, this guy looks neat. He kind of looks like me. I'm going to steal it. So in essence, my minifigure and avatar is just this huge, very old story of basically plagiarism.
So let's move to the next question. The next question comes from it's two people because they asked fairly similar questions. It's at Blue and at Ultimate T'Challa. They ask, what is the creepiest or strangest thing you have seen on the message boards?
There was this one user, it was right around when I first became a mod last year. There's this one user who, in the Bionicle, I guess it must have been 2016 topic at the time, or 2015, whatever was more popular at the time. There's this guy, his username was Bumblebee, and he just went ahead and posted in the topic. I think it was a septuple post or something that.
We discussed
it was 7 or 8 posts in a row. But
it was an octuple post, yeah.
That wasn't the point. The point was that he was just advertising his honey and bee related stuff, and it was it was I don't even know what he was doing.
I guess the creepiest thing? I'm probably gonna get flack for this, but yeah, it's just the entire relationship topic, basically.
I wanted to say that, but
the original one or the new one?
I thought it, but it was
yeah,
but it's pretty cringeworthy.
Yeah, it is. So, at Dragonborn Ben asks, how hard was it to become a mod?
We already went into our mod stories, didn't we?
Yeah, we discussed it at length in the first episode, so we could reiterate some things.
The only thing I guess of note would be that pretty much for all of us were asked to become mods, with the exception of one mod, but that's not something that should probably be discussed. So yeah, basically, TTV approach.
Excuse me.
I guess not very difficult.
It was also kind of a situation of right place at the right time.
Yeah, there's also that.
But it was I don't know about you guys, but for me it was this kind of thing where, was it hard to become a mod? We just were online a lot, and I think that we were engaged with people. We were engaged in serious discussions, and we were I know, at least in my case, it was this idea of being respectful and courteous and kind and helpful. So in that sense, it was
and I also not blatantly saying, "Hey, can I be a mod?"
Yeah.
I'm assuming
hey, can I be a mod?
I'm assuming the purpose behind this question was, how hard was it to become a mod? How hard would it for me to become a mod? And if you want to be a mod, just go ahead, flag lots of stuff that's appropriate to flag. be respectful, be courteous, and don't ask to be a mod.
Yep.
It's like, that's pretty much a guarantee to never be like on TTV's, yeah, no, you're never getting on to the mod squad list.
Unless you can make like a really long, thoughtful case for why you should be a mod after doing like a lot of stuff that actually makes you worthy of being a mod. But that applies to very few people, if any.
I'm sure that's never happened in the past before. Or anything.
Nope, never.
Anyway, next question.
Okay, so next question is from @Bionite. He asks, "What is it like to have all this power over the boards?"
Cue the
The power.
Of course, a wise man once said that great power comes great spam. I think that's how it went.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, we can't just abuse our powers. That's what it is.
Like, we have the ability to do stuff, but like, since we're all intelligent people, we don't use half of that just because, like, yeah, sure, I could go around and I could like change literally everyone's username to like XRZ number 8002 or whatever, but like, would I want to do that? No, because admins exist. So really, we have power, but in all honesty, it's the admins who really have the absolute power.
I feel like a moderator's job is not as glamorous as people might think. For me, at least, the big advantage of this power is having master privileges. Like, there's certain things we can do, like editing titles and seeing deleted posts and topics. Those are the kind of thing that it's like, we have this power, so yay. I mean, it's fun to do that, but like it has its advantages. I think the big thing to get across is that it's not super glamorous. Like, people want to be a mod because it's kind of this artificially created social position, but honestly, just enjoy where you're at.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't necessarily want to have all that extra responsibility.
Yeah, it's
all
like,
cracked up to be.
I don't think many users would just like the amount of double posts that we have to fix. @Froku asks, which Toa or Makuta is each of your role models if you had to choose one?
If one of us has a Makuta as a role model, I don't think they should be a mod.
What are you talking about?
What about what's his name, Mizrax?
Oh, maybe.
This guy, right?
Yeah, that's racist, gosh.
Speciesist, right? In all seriousness, do we want to say role model or favorite? I don't really understand the question.
Yeah,
what was he implying?
I don't know,
Like,
but
I guess like Winua, because he's like totally into that history and he like mines and tunnels, and I like tunnels. They're cool.
I always wanted to be like Liwa. I don't know, because I like the green guys, but our personalities are totally not the same. So maybe like Lesovic, maybe kind of like the lone. I've always liked the idea of the lone warrior. A lot of my fan fiction characters have been like that. This lone person who's like a band or has lost everything he has and is just on like this quest for justice.
Justice.
Swear to me.
If I had to be a bionicle character or whatever, I would go with Kopaka. I don't know. He's always the one I've identified with the most.
oh yeah. I mean, I've usually associated myself with like the most of these stone characters, like Bohatu. Yeah, super speed, man. It's super cool. So, next question is asked by @Tawa of Fire, and he asks, what were you guys doing before the TTV Message Boards launched? Or other things? Why?
Naming it.
I was listening to TTV podcast on and off. I was playing Minecraft. I was hanging out with my IRL friends on Google Plus.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. Other than like school.
I was in school. I was doing homework. Actually, let's go to our next question, because it's a bit similar, I guess. It's from Toby Echozap. He asks, where do you see the boards in 5 years' time? I think the boards will still be up on the internet. I mean, Will it still be a thriving community of people still talking about things and such? Maybe. I don't
It
know.
all depends on how
I mean,
Bionicle goes.
Yeah, if Bionicle ends, I presume that we're going to see a pretty big drop-off in activity just because a large portion of the board's members are there just because they want to discuss the new wave of Bionicle or they want to discuss all that. And, well, I think people will stay, obviously. I think that it could very potentially be different in a way, maybe less turbulent, I want to say. I think that in 5 years, the boards could be a much less chaotic place.
So let's move on to the next question. There were actually 2 zombie apocalypse questions, and I just kind of lumped them together. Or, like, I'll read them out. At Wadden asks, "It is the zombie apocalypse, and the first items on your left and right are the weapons in the zombie apocalypse. Also, how will you survive?" And at Onawa asks, "If you were stuck in a zombie apocalypse situation and had to choose one member of the mod squad as your partner, who would it be and why?"
First item on my left and right. Item on the left is a mock that I made, or a combo model I made of Uxar and Protector of Jungle, so that's going to be useful. And on my right is my phone. I don't know how much use that'll be. I'll just be running around with like a Bionicle mock and a phone.
On my left, I have my plush of a creeper. It'll protect me. Yeah, and then on my right, I have my Rubik's Cube. Its colors will mesmerize the zombies.
No. See, what you do is you break that apart and you throw the pieces as like ammo.
Oh, yeah.
To my right is my phone, which I am using. To my left are my headphones. I am boned.
I think I'm worse. I have a used Kleenex on my right and an Avengers pin on my left. So I can like kind of bend the pin and use it to poke zombies, I guess.
No, see, what you do is you use the used Kleenex. You use that to like lure them in. Like you wave the white flag. And then like when they're like right on top of you, that's when you like stab them in the eye.
What if their eyes have already decayed, though?
I don't know how zombies work.
Well, I mean, they work by biting you, right? And like this pin has the range of approximately 2 centimeters. So it's like, unless I get ridiculously good with throwing pins at zombies, then
Yeah, no. You're not stabbing anyone with that.
So if you had to pick a member of the mod squad for the zombie apocalypse, who would you pick and why?
So I'd probably choose Indy just because like he lives in a very rural area and he probably knows how to survive. I met him in real life 2 weeks ago and he's tall, like 6'4". So like choose the tall guys. They're pretty good at like barreling through stuff. So, Wadge, who would you choose?
Oh, I'd probably pick John, because John has his powers of Time Lord abilities and such.
I would probably pick you, Wadge, because like I know you sorry, John. I know Wadge the most, and he also lives in Canada. You actually live relatively close to me. So if ever we had to like have a zombie apocalypse scenario and you were the only other human being on Earth I could go to, or the only other, like, if the only people who lived on Earth were, like, people on the message boards, then you're probably one of the closest ones to me.
It's a similar situation with me and Indy.
I would choose Chronicler and use him as a human shield. Love you, Kronk.
Roast.
Rip Kronk for real.
So, next question from @Moa Mari Matoro. What would you do if a mod went rogue and started completely disrespecting the rules and used his powers not to create and restore order, but to abuse and destroy?
I think we all know what would happen.
Bring out the banhammer. This is what it would happen. So, next question from @Looch. How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?
42.
42 is the answer to everything.
Yep.
Well, okay, what do we mean by cups of sugar? Do we mean by cups of sugar in terms of like the actual volume that it would take to get to the moon?
Or like
if so, do we have to calculate the mass of like the necessary pillars that we would need to build up taking into account the Earth's gravity? Or are we talking about rocket fuel here? Using cups of sugar as rocket fuel?
No, okay, now see that's an interesting question because I do remember in my physics class, rocket science is basically just you're chucking things behind you at a very fast rate. So like, yeah, cups of sugar that could totally be a thing. Because like if you stack up like cups of sugar, like if you just dumped out sugar, it's all just going to like fall over because it's like trying to pile sand. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, if you compacted it,
I guess like you could have sugar cubes. You want to go with sugar cubes?
maybe.
How many sugar cubes? Like, so the distance to the moon is, for all intents and purposes, let's just say 240 miles, which I don't know.
240 miles? I think I'll go drive there tomorrow. I'll buy some moon rocks for y'all.
What did I just say? I meant to say 240,000.
There we go.
That's what I did. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. I can't words. Yeah, I don't really know what that is in metric. Metric miles. That's not what I wanted. Never mind. Okay, it's a far distance. So let's just say at least 3 cups.
All right then. So let's start the lightning round of questions.
Ooh, lightning round.
So at Brunamau asks, is there any way to guest star on the show?
Not at this point in time. The only reason we're not allowed to guest star was because he was at my house while we were recording, basically.
At Radiation7901 asks, do you plan to make an episode on Overwatch? I recently got Overwatch, but I'm not sure about everyone else, so...
Do any of you play Overwatch?
Nope, check Testa.
I don't.
I have
Nope.
not, because I do not have a computer that can play it. Probably not.
Nope.
Okay, our next question comes from at 777 Stairs, and he asks, do you approve of memes when they have Kahi's face on them, and thus Meso's seal of approval? No.
Yes.
It depends on the meme. There are some good memes with Kahi's face. There's some bad memes with Kahi's face. That's my personal opinion.
At Mr. Grammatical asks, what's your favorite comic? DC, Marvel, or otherwise?
I don't read
Nope.
comics, but I'm partial to say DC just because I like the universe better and I know more about it than I do Marvel. So I'm just gonna say DC.
Marvel is
Cool.
that's obviously,
You
even
get
though I
like
don't read
Booster
comics.
Gold and like Blue Beetle and stuff. They're cool.
I don't read comic books, so none.
Just based off of movies, I have to go, because that's all I have to base off of. I definitely have to go with Marvel overall.
Well, yeah, Marvel movies are better than anything. So
Okay, yeah. So,
I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna be different, and I'm gonna say Star Wars. Comics are my least favorite, probably medium of Star Wars content. But there have been like 1 or 2 really good comics that I've read, and so I'm like, yeah, Star Wars.
Winterstorm345 asks, who are your favorite superheroes? I've always liked Spider-Man, so I guess Spider-Man. And, I don't know, I guess some from the X-Men, like Nightcrawler. It's pretty cool.
For me, I would go with Batman and Spider-Man.
For me, I'm gonna be probably Nightwing and Hawkeye or Falcon.
I really like Blue Beetle. Who else? Plastic Man. I really like Plastic Man. He's cool.
Okay, so at Leo Xander asks, do you know what it takes to be a hero?
You have to say the question.
Do you know?
Do you know
what it takes to be a hero?
Be a hero.
Yeah, actual like skills with composing song lyrics, which they don't have.
So the answer is no. Next question is from at Booster Gold. What are your favorite video games from the 90s?
Hey,
It
does
was
anybody
so
like
awesome.
Ocarina of Time? I know that's a really obscure 90s game.
Never
but,
heard of it.
It's pretty cool.
I'm going with Donkey Kong
Yeah.
64.
For me, I guess it would be Super Metroid.
I haven't played that many 90s games outside of Zelda games. There are a few games that I want to play from the 90s that I just haven't gotten around to yet, especially Fallout 1 and 2, the Baldur's Gate games, and Planescape Torment.
So next question is from at Can. Besides Lego, do you buy other toy lines? If yes, which ones? I do not, so do you guys?
I used to collect Transformers when I was younger. Just a few, though, not anything substantial. and never delved into that fandom. So outside of Bionicle, not really anything, or Lego, I should just say.
I've collected a couple Halo Mega Bloks sets over the years, mostly just ones that I see that go on sale. I'm like, ooh, I'll get that because it looks cool. And I guess like a bunch of third-party Lego compatible stuff, which isn't technically Lego, but I'm really into like Brick Arms and Brick Forge and Brick Warriors and all those minifigure accessory type of companies.
When I was a small child, I had quite a few Playmobil sets. But apart from that, really, since I was 7 or 8 years old, the only toys I've really cared about have been Legos.
Okay, so next question. At Omega Tahu asks, have any of you pretended to be goats for 3 days?
It seems to me like that'd be pretty hard to pull off, consistently being a goat for 3 days.
The real question is why Omega Tahu? Because he didn't just post this to us; he posted it on like every single one of the cast members. So really, the real question I want to ask you, Omega Tahu, why do you want to know if we pretended to be goats for 3 days? Is there something you're hiding? Is there like?
Is there a secret
Are you a goat?
Goat cult?
Are you secretly a goat?
Are you trying to find your brethren? Is that it? But why for only 3 days? Is it like a werewolf type dealio where people transform into goats for 3 days? I don't know. Next question.
The Mod Squad versus the Curse of the Weregoat.
Yeah. At Hootier, I don't know, Hutier, the Toe of Air.
Hurray, maybe,
Yeah.
I don't... There's a correct way to pronounce it, but I don't know what
He asks, do you guys play the Star Wars Knights of the Republic? If so, do you like it? I have not played that.
Knights of the Old Republic, I'm guessing? I started playing it. I got it in like a Steam sale a while ago. I started playing it. I couldn't get a hand of the combat system because I find that combat in that game is a little bit weird. And then I just like dropped it and haven't had the time to pick it up since.
I am a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, but I have not played the MMO.
Our last question, at Chili Productions, asks, what's your favorite non-constraction theme? I remember the Lego dinosaurs when I was like really young were a thing, and I really liked those.
As far as like old stuff, I'd probably say Exoforce. Like, yeah, the mechs had flaws, yada yada yada, but honestly, it was a pretty cool theme. Had a pretty good plot line. It was a little bit missing, I think, in the media department, but you know, hey, that's just the way it was back then. As far as like current stuff goes, I'd probably say Ninjago, not because I follow the story or the show or have bought any of the sets ever, except for like I have one set from the first wave, but I look at Ninjago and I keep up with the sets, just like look at them briefly. But if Bionicle ends, you know, I'll probably head over. And there's like no new construction theme, I'll probably just head over to Ninjago because that's the closest thing.
My favorites have pretty much always been Star Wars and whatever the current castle theme happens to be.
I'm kind of like John. I really like Star Wars. I'm also really into... I'm into so many different system themes, but basically Star Wars and mostly Castle. So whatever the Castle theme is, especially Knights Kingdom 2 back in the day. The second Knights Kingdom 2 line with all of the Rainbow Knights, that was really awesome.
Well, that was the QANDA. We actually made it through all of the questions that I didn't cut, because there were some questions I did cut just for time issues and also because people asked multiple questions. I should have made it a lot more clearer, but probably next time we have a QANDA, there'll be more specific rules, I guess, in place for that. But yeah, so thanks for joining us. This has probably been a really long episode of the Modcast, and we've reached 10. Hooray!
It's a milestone. We can call it an extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Oh yeah, the QANDA Extravaganza. Thanks again for joining us. And if you stuck this far with the Modcast, we appreciate you. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Have fun. Don't eat shoes.
Shoes can be bad for your health.
Sayonara.